That's what people think of apologetics, especially in the progressive world, is they think, well, apologetics, if you say that word, for a lot of people, they just think, well, apologetics is just like really conservative evangelicals trying to keep everybody in line, just circling the wagons, repeating talking points. And they kind of maybe conflate that with just a young earth view, or, I don't know what they think. They just think it's like this kind of silly endeavor, and they don't realize how robust evangelical scholarship is, but it just gets pushed to the margins by the way that people approach it, because they'll say, well, they're biased. Well, one of the points that I made in my book is that all scholars are biased. Bart Ehrman has bias. They all have
Absolutely.
bias. And you want to acknowledge your biases as best you can. But yeah, that's kind of a frustration that I have. I'm glad you brought that up, because there is this, in fact, Jeremiah Johnston was on, who got his PhD, I believe, under Craig Evans. And he was telling me personally about how frustrating when he was doing his PhD on the resurrection, his not Craig Evans, but the organization he was with, I'm not sure which one it was, but it was somewhere in Europe, how they've just expected him to not believe the resurrection was physical. And he was even concerned that he would even pass his dissertation if he said that he did. And he did. He said, I do believe the resurrection of Jesus actually happened, and here's my evidence. And he got his PhD, but he was concerned about that. And so if you think about bias, like that sounds more biased than following the evidence where it leads, doesn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely, but people don't. Those people that just scream bias, if you're evangelical, whatever, they don't listen. They're just not even listening to the arguments. Which, 40 years ago, it was the fideists among us that were being charged with not listening to evidence. Well, now who's not listening? Things have totally turned around in that vein. But I just want to encourage you and all of us that believe the Bible and are true Christians and are following hard after Christ and defending the faith, to keep on keeping on.
Yeah,
look,
that's good.
there's nothing new under the sun. Jesus dealt with this himself. You had Pharisees. Josephus said you had four. He called them philosophies. You had the Essenes, the Zealots, but the two main ones in the New Testament are the Pharisees, which were the legalists, but you had the Sadducees. As J. Vernon McGee said one time, they didn't believe in the resurrection, therefore they were sad, you see. Anyway, I always thought that was funny. But the point is, the Sadducees did not believe in resurrection, nor in angels. The text of the gospel says they were anti-supernaturalists. So they've been among us all along. So, you just got to keep forging ahead as a Christian.
That's so good.